In this episode of Advisor Revelations,
being a fee-only advisor is important to me because if that weren't the case, I would not be an advisor.
DPL's Kameron McRay interviews advisor Shannon Stone and gets her thoughts on the importance of no-load products, how she introduces annuities to clients, and why her firm decided to partner with DPL.
Shannon, I know you've been working with DPL for a little bit over 2 years now. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your firm, DHR?
So I'm a financial advisor with DHR Investment Counsel located in Oakland, California, and I've been with the firm for about 11 years. I have about 20 years in the industry, started off on the operations side and have worked my way up to financial planning.
And Shannon, tell us a little bit about DHR and how you would describe the firm and its clientele.
So we are a fee-only advisor. Our investment strategies that we practice is a kind of an index-based plus strategy. We're a dimensional fund advisor shop. I guess in the registered investment advisor space, we are probably considered small, even though we don't feel small. We manage about 170 households and have about $400 million under management.
So Shannon, I remember when we first started talking regarding DPL, your firm traditionally had used investment-only variable annuities, but not necessarily annuities for any sort of guaranteed income. What would you say at that time? What kept you all from exploring annuities for retirement income?
I think it's just the stigmatism that annuities have carried. Have been tagged with in their existence with high commissions and a difficult product to understand, not user-friendly, not advisor-friendly. It's interesting, since our relationship with DPL, we have so many clients that come in, new clients that come in that will have a $50,000 or $100,000 annuity that they don't really recall why they purchased it. But I would assert, based on all of the research I've been doing and we've been doing as a firm, and because of DPL, our relationship with DPL, the message is pretty clear. Retirees want fixed income. They want to feel secure and safe. So we are looking at annuities much deeper and to see how that can enhance a client's retirement picture more so than we ever have before.
So Shannon, based on what you've learned about annuities, what were your biggest misconceptions about the products that prevented you from using them for guaranteed income or in clients' portfolios?
Some of our biggest misconceptions, Cam, were the costs that are usually associated with annuities, which we have seen pretty high costs on clients bringing in annuities from, I guess, the retail environment, the liquidity, the lack of being able to access that, or high surrender charges for very long periods of time. And at the time, they really didn't fit our business model. Because of the partnership with DPL, we have taken so much more into consideration and have explored other ways of using annuities with our clients who have brought in policies, legacy policies that they've been holding on to and not necessarily understanding how that could help them in building their future retirement income picture. And then we're also using it in our financial planning software. And the results have been pretty dramatic when introducing another source of fixed income into a client's total picture, retirement picture.
And Shannon, I also know you made some time to make the trip out to Minnesota last year and had a chance to participate in our retirement income masterclass. How was your experience there?
That was a great experience. I'm sure I've mentioned to you or asked you when the next one would be. It was well received, I believe, by all the advisors who attended the masterclass, and it was really informative. And the material was so relevant, and I welcome more and look forward to future masterclasses.
Shannon, as you know, DPL, we work with a lot of academics like Wade Pfau, Micah Fink, and others to really help our advisors better understand the strategies around funding efficient retirement income with annuities. What research, or has any of the research helped you better understand how to utilize annuities, and what have you learned?
Yeah, actually, it was during the masterclass where Wade Pfau had presented. Since attending the masterclass, I have been trying to figure out how we can implement Wade's suggestion around annuities as a partial bond replacement in the asset allocation, but geared towards covering that non-discretionary spending. And it makes so much sense. And when we look at our clients in our practice, that could be a pretty big number for some. So we've been looking and experimenting on implementing that strategy, beginning with presenting that idea to a client, number one, and overcoming a lot of our clients' objections to annuities because of their historical reference to them. Because of the presentation and the reading I've been doing from Wade's book, it's definitely making us think as a firm in a different way and building that total retirement picture.
So it sounds like, we both agree that annuities can be powerful tools to use as part of a retirement plan, and particularly for guaranteed income. So how do you think about annuities as part of that overall planning toolkit now that you're more familiar with the benefits and features?
Well, I think of it in terms of asset allocation and whether or not when working on a client situation, if this would be a good idea for it to be part of a client's total asset allocation. And I'm working and sharing that information and research with my colleagues.
That's great. And again, I think it comes back to understanding the concepts, right? Understanding the academics, and then being able to implement for your particular client cases in Money Guide Pro.
Absolutely. Because as you may recall, since having gone to the masterclass, how many times have we had meetings set up so that you can go through the educational piece with my colleagues so that they better understand the inner workings of the annuities and what's available today versus what was available in the yesteryears.
Exactly right. It's amazing what happens when you can strip the commission away from those particular products and how that's going to affect the end benefit to the client.
Absolutely.
We know annuities aren't for every client, but they can be powerful tools when used for retirement income in that overall plan. Without, mentioning client names, of course, can you think of a couple situations where adding that annuity into the financial plan has benefited, and what's it like to see those concepts, those academic concepts we talk about, come to life?
It makes my job feel more rewarding to be able to introduce a concept that a client doesn't have a lot of experience with. Many people have heard of annuities, and what they know is to stay away from them. And it can take a couple conversations to lay the groundwork and how it works and how it could benefit them. But it really comes to life being able to show them the results of with and without an annuity in the financial planning software. And then it becomes visibly clear what it could do for them. In one specific case, I work with someone in a local school district, and he has suffered a few investment losses. So this annuity was actually a great way for him to secure another source of income in addition to his pension money. He feels good about the results. A couple years ago, when he had some of these losses come to fruition and that were realized that he wasn't anticipating, this has given him new hope that he'll be able to retire when he hopes to.
Yes, thanks for sharing, Shannon. Those are all great annuity cases that I do recall working on with you. So in general, you would say really diving into Money Guide Pro has helped you have that conversation with clients about annuities and made that conversation easier.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know that we've talked about this, Cam, because I've come to you so many times asking for illustrations to be able to put in front of clients. And the one thing that seems to be true through all of the clients I've put something in front of them around annuities for consideration, they're very interested and curious to hear about it. So we discuss it. And I would say once they see it modeled in the software, it really grabs their attention. And I know that there will be future annuity purchases made. It's a process. Once it gets into the Money Guide Pro or the financial planning software, it becomes more viable, I think, as a consideration for a client.
Yes, I do love seeing the Monte Carlo scores go up and residual portfolio values potentially grow. Shannon, so at the beginning of the podcast, you did let our listeners know that you are, and DHR is a fee-only advisor. Why is that important for you?
Selling something to someone for the highest commission possible is not something I can do. So as I grew up in the business and tried out different areas of the industry and landing in financial planning, I just believe for me, there were no accidents. To be with people in a way around one of what's such a taboo subject for so many people to discuss, money, and be in relationship, I think there's no other place I'd rather be. Watching someone build over time their nest egg and figure out with them how and what their retirement picture is going to look like, and not be tied to a commission is freeing. We do a ton of research internally inside the firm to make sure that we are using products that we believe in that are strong and that will serve the client and meet their goals. That's why being a fee advisor is really important to me.
Yes, thanks for sharing, Shannon. And kind of along those lines, putting the best products or strong products in front of clients, what has the DPL partnership meant for you?
It has meant so much to us. In the beginning, I think when we signed up, we didn't expect much. I think we expected to have this resource that we would turn to when we had a question or needed you. And the relationship has evolved so much since the beginning. And it's been really fun to watch DPL evolve and change. And we've come to rely on that relationship for so many different reasons, for analysis and research and dialogue. We appreciate all of the resources you and everybody else there on the team have brought to support and be a resource for our firm to help our clients.
Thanks for sharing that. And so, follow-up question, what would you say to other fee-only advisors who, like you used to be, are skeptical about utilizing annuities?
I would say to give you a call and be open to the possibilities. Annuities are so complex. And unless that's what you specialize in, I think you're not exploring all possibilities for your clients. And there are solutions out there that may surprise the even most skeptical advisor around putting one in a client. I never would have thought that it would be something I look to more than I do now in building that picture. And part of that is because of how I was trained and educated, et cetera, and my own personal experience with annuities and annuities with other existing clients. So I would say I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss a relationship with DPL. It's much more than just around annuities, and you wouldn't know it until you actually utilize them.
Okay, Shannon. Yes, and I've seen you and your firm evolve as DPL members, and have really used almost every one of our resources that we have available, and dive into different analysis or the financial planning software. But what would you say, in your mind, has been the most valuable to your firm?
I think one of the most valuable pieces that DPL has brought to everyone in my firm is the educational piece. The time that you and your colleagues have spent with us on educating us around complexities of annuities and going through illustrations or on life insurance policies. And I know that at times it's been repetitive because that's not our expertise, has been so helpful in making us all more aware of what we are looking at within our clientele and new clients coming in with existing policies. It's been really helpful and a great partnership in that way to be able to lean on you guys that way.
Well, Shannon, that brings us to an end. And I do want to thank you for your time today and speaking to some of our other members or non-member RIA firms in the community. As always, we do appreciate your continued partnership.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for having me on. It was great.
Thanks for listening. You can hear more advisor revelations at dplfp.com.